$1 trillion sits today in the United States in foundations and donor-advised funds. We call that philanthropically committed capital. Capital that's already crossed the line. It's no longer owned by the donor. The donors received a generous tax deduction. It can't come back. It can't be used for college education for the kids or a second home or a vacation. And one day, whether it's today or 20 years from now or 100 years from now, that money sitting in a 501c3 is going to go toward mission. But think about that money. The law says that a foundation must only contribute 5% in order to achieve mission every year. What about the other 95%? It's invested, typically and historically, for one bottom line: growth. Enter impact investing, where investors seek a double bottom line of both financial growth and social impact. In the philanthropic sector, this $1 trillion sitting in foundations and donor-advised funds, impact investing is the opportunity to help achieve the donor's mission from the engine of that philanthropic capital rather than just from the fumes. A couple of examples. Say a foundation has as its mission finding a cure for a particular type of cancer from which a loved one died. It finds out that its portfolio is invested in mutual funds, invested in tobacco stocks. The left hand, the right hand, not working together to achieve mission. Instead of investing in companies and nonprofits and entities that are actually looking for a cure for the disease. Or a foundation with a mission to combat climate change, invested in coal and other fossil fuels. Or a foundation with a mission to empower girls and women, invested in clothing companies that have sweatshops in developing nations where women work at substandard wages and inhumane conditions. The list goes on and on. So what we ask our foundation clients is a simple question. Where is your money spending the night? With whom is it sleeping? And today we have two remarkable women who are doing this work on a day-to-day basis, taking a look at foundation assets and looking at them holistically. Impact investing in the philanthropic sector. Clara Miller, Director and President of the F.B. Heron Foundation, is the nation's foremost thought leader on impact investing for foundations. Heron has broken down the traditional silos of grant making and investments and is all in for mission, meaning that it operates as a single enterprise, viewing all of its activities and all of its assets as directed toward a single mission to help people and communities help themselves out of poverty. Secondly, it's Kimberly Cornett, who's the managing director of the social investment practice of the $3.5 billion Kresge Foundation. A month ago, Kresge announced that 10% of its assets, $350 million, will be placed into impact investing over the next 5 years. This is a major strategy shift for one of the biggest foundations in the United States and demonstrates the thought leadership of the Kresge Foundation in this important area. So I'm happy to ask some questions, but the thought leaders are seated over here on the left, and I'll start, Clara, with you, and then I'll sit down and join you. Talk about F.B. Heron and what you're doing and how you're approaching the impact investing environment.